Hey Anastasia, I just saw your video on pagan elitism, and I have to agree with you. There are quite a few pagan elitists out there. Um, I have found this very funny, kind of surprising, but not really. I think honestly that it's within human nature to become an elitist, really. Um, it's within our nature to find the truth, and once we've found the truth, we tend to look down upon those that we feel don't have the truth. I mean, look at what happened with the people who came over from England. One of the big reasons why they left England and came to America was religious persecution. Yet, what were the pilgrims, what were the pilgrims known for? The religious persecution. We all remember the burning times. We all remember Salem. We all remember all this. And it's funny because they left England for the very same reason, because people were doing the very same things to them that they are now doing to others. And the funny thing is that most of them didn't even practice witchcraft, if any. I find a lot of people using elitism, whether it be pagans, Wiccans, Christians, any faith really I've run into has had some sort of elitism. Again, I don't know. I know that you just started subscribing to my videos, Anastasia, and maybe you could take a look at a few of them. But one running theme that I have in my videos is people just don't use common sense. And if people just wake up and smell the coffee and use common sense, nothing specific to any particular faith or religion or even IQ, race, class, sex, nothing specific to any of those, just common, everyday sense. We really wouldn't run into the problems, half the problems that we have. It's always extremes and no common sense. And that is a dangerous combination when we're dealing with people who deal strictly on a fear-based level. I hope that what people get through their thick skulls is just think of one question, and that is, do I want this done to me? For example, those people that are constantly witnessing to people, or those people that are knocking on people's doors, asking if you found Christ, and constantly witnessing about the love of Jesus Christ. Well, you know what? Alright, for an example, I want those people to stop and think. How would they like it, and how would they feel if all of a sudden all the pagans started knocking on their door and stopping them on the street and stopping them at work and witnessing to them, and why they chose to convert from their religion to paganism or Wicca or both? They wouldn't like it too much, would they? So there runs in the common sense. If you don't want it done to you, then you have no right to do it to somebody else. Okay, so let's start with the pagans. You don't want them pagans, other pagans of different sections, the Satanists or the Druids or the Wiccans or anybody who happens to be of any pagan faith going over to you and saying, you know what, Anastasia, your belief is shit. And this is why I have the truth. The one and only truth. Sounds pretty familiar. And you're right, it makes us no better. Of course, it shouldn't make us any better, but it should make us different. And that's the thing. I think, again, once people start practicing common sense, the elitism may not go away, but it'll severely decrease. Again, people, anybody watching this, just stop and think. That's all I'm asking. Stop and think. I don't want anybody coming over to me going, you know what, Deb? Your belief is shit. But I'm smart enough to have realized the true meaning. Now, on the other hand, if someone really thinks that I may not have what would be my truth, and they see something that might work better for me, and they introduce me to it, and they say, you know what, pick up a book, read a little bit more about Norse, or Asatru, or Strega. Yeah, I have an open mind. I read about different practices all the time. And I think that's a great way to be. But when you have some elitist down your throat trying to tell you what an ass you are, your mind tends to close. And no matter who you are, your mind has something really big in common with a parachute in a book. That is, they just don't work unless they're open. Blessed be.